Amplify Science, Plate Motion, Chapter 1, Lesson 1.3. One of the most impressive simulations I think we'll use is in this lesson. So we begin with the warm-up, and there's a link for you to the plate motion simulation. So we give you about 5 minutes to explore with that and figure out what you can discover. And then once that's complete, you get introduced to an animation, 37-second animation, about mapping the floor, the ocean floor. We talk about sonar, being able to map the surface and what it revealed to us beginning in the 1950s. Then we hop back to that simulation that you opened in the warm-up, and we take a little tour, making sure you've noticed the tools that you'll need to manipulate during the lesson. So I'm going to open that up, and this is called the global view. And you can click on any one of the areas. So the first one I'll click on is Area 1 and point out in the middle, it tells you what kind of boundary it is. Convergent, the arrows are coming together. The two plates are moving towards each other. Or divergent, they're moving apart. In the upper right-hand corner, you can turn on and off the surface feature. You can go back to globe view, and then you can also drop some markers in. And the letter on the left side, F, you can move up and down, which affects where the cross-section is. So that line going across the screen, imagine it being the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's where your knife cuts through. Then you pick up the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Instead of looking at it from the top, like the big map above, you then are looking at the side, the layers of bread and peanut butter and jelly. And you can see continents and hard Earth's crust, the softer mantle. And down below there's a key that says, hard or solid is that dark gray, and the lighter color it is towards orange-red is the softer it is, and then the oceans or waters are blue. And you can examine what happens. And when then you hit run, the simulations start to show you how this changes over time. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a pause and a reset button, but it also shows you the time lapse that's going on during this simulation. You can turn on active volcanoes. You can turn on earthquakes, so it gives you more information about what would be happening during that simulation. Then you can stop it and reset it. Then you can go back to different areas. And this time I'm going to pick Region 3. It's out in the ocean, and there aren't any landforms. And the reason why I'm doing that, it runs the same way, but here you get to set the boundary, whether you want convergent or divergent. I'm going to pick divergent this time. I also have options of, if I change to a convergent boundary, I can then, once I add, I'm going to clear that boundary first. I can first add landforms or continents or islands. I can then erase some of that. I can drop in fossils of where I might see those items. And then, when I set my boundary, let's say convergent, and I run the simulation, I get information on the actual geography that I designed. Okay, so between those tools, you can explore the different plate boundaries. And then when you hop back to step 3, you are given some maps, and those maps, let me project them really quickly, include the plate boundary map and the earthquake map. So you're going to use both those maps and some transparencies and some markers when you get to step 3, and you'll be marking up on the transparencies some common features between the two maps, trying to establish how did we figure out where the plate boundaries are using earthquake information in the simulations that we learned. When you're done with the map building, then you move on to step 4, which is the homework, and you're making some analogies between the Earth's crust and other objects. And that's the only section of the lesson that you need to hand in or actually submit written work. Mostly it's the simulation and the transparencies over the maps. So that's lesson 1.3.